and it happened again. This was the story of this week. It ended up happening again on Friday, but it's just being emotionless and just literally setting and forgetting. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis, and this is the YouTube channel where I'm just documenting my trading journey. I'm not a guru, I am not a teacher. Like I said, I've been documenting my trading journey from the very beginning of this year to all the way now, and today that I'm recording this is the 19th of October. So I've been trading live capital, my own capital, for about 10 months now. Before we get into anything, first thing I want to do is ask you to please leave a like and comment and share with somebody who's also on their trading journey. If you're on your own trading journey, please let me know how your week went down below and how your trading journey is going overall. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, on TikTok. I want to thank Techtronix.com for being the sponsor of this series, and we're going to hop into their website very soon. But before we do all that, I just want to say that the closer and closer that we end up getting to the elections, the more weird the charts are going to end up moving. And if you were trading this past week, you saw what I'm talking about, because towards the beginning of the week, it has been very good price action, very efficient price action, but when it comes to the end of the week, man, it's just straight up choppy, up and down movements, very jagged, very unpredictable. So don't be discouraged, still follow your trading plans. You want to become very robotic when it comes to your trading, and that's something that I'm still working on. I can't act like I've mastered it yet, and I was talking to my boy about this. I feel like I've gotten so far along in my trading journey in terms of my skill and information, like trading wise, that I understand trading so well. My mental just hasn't caught up to that. Like my psychology still needs some catching up to do when it comes to trusting my ideas and just being very robotic with it. You'll understand once I get into the actual days of the week. I hope you guys watched that last video and enjoyed it, because this week a lot ended up happening, and I'm gonna go through it the best that I can. It's gonna be a shorter video because Monday I didn't trade because it was a bank holiday. I don't think I have any executions, especially even on the days that I ended up winning. I didn't have any executions. I just didn't record them this week, but I have to get back to that. I want to make that a part of this series. I want to make that the staple of this series, that you guys actually get to see my executions. This is the first time you guys are seeing me with a hat on. I don't know if I ever made another video on this YouTube channel with a hat on. I know definitely for sure not any trading videos with a hat on, but I haven't gotten my haircut, and the reason for that is because, like I said, next week I'm going on vacation. So look out for the videos that come out while I'm on vacation too, because they're gonna be very raw. That's the best way that I could really put it. But like I said, I haven't gotten a cut. My hair looks crazy. I'm gonna get a cut a couple days before, actually the day before I leave. So I'm just gonna, wear a hat in this video. There's no problem with that. I'm just saying, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat, that's why I'm wearing a hat. Apart from that, let's get into the sponsor of this series, and then let's get into the Discord, and then we can start this video, because there's a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. Thank you guys so much for the support that we've been getting on the YouTube channel. I was just checking this out before the video. Let's get into Techtronix.com. If you're looking for the best quality PC build with the best parts in the market, make sure you guys head over to Techtronix.com and take advantage of my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. They have free shipping on all their products, and they have a 1-year warranty. So I wouldn't put my name behind anything that I didn't trust, and I know the owner of the company very well. He is a very good person. Apart from just a businessman, I know him personally, and I could tell when somebody is genuine. Like I said, you guys would not be disappointed with the product that they deliver. And when you do order those products, they expedite the whole process for you. Like I said, you can hit contact them, and you can have a whole conversation with them explaining very specific parts that you want and how you want to build all that. If you head into their perfect trading setup, like I say, you come in here and you see everything that has to do with the Lewis Visuals brand and what we have come up together. I already said this in every video, but I'm gonna keep saying it. A lot of people have been asking me, what is the best PC build that I think is provided by Techtronix.com, and I always say it's the Future Setup LV Flip, just because of the price range and the power that is in this PC. Obviously, if you want to go for more hardcore stuff, the Ultimate is definitely the best PC that they offer in the Lewis Visual side of it. Obviously, if you want to go into their other setups, they have more powerful setups, but I think that a $1,200 range is perfect for a PC build that you can use for everything. You can use it for streaming, you can use it for trading, you can use it for video editing, you can use it for 3D work, you can use it for graphics work, all of that work setup that you need. Definitely the Future Setup LV. If you're just looking for a trading setup and just a PC that you don't want to spend too much on but don't want to go too cheap, because that's what I think if you're going to end up investing in a PC, make sure you get something that is going to last you a long time and that you don't need to be replacing parts for. So the beginner, awesome, $900. Most people be paying $2,000 for a MacBook, but if you want a PC, you get that same amount of power and that same amount of quality for about $900. So make sure you use that discount, like I said. But the one that I would go for is definitely the Futures LV Flip setup. You can see everything that it has in here. Do your research on what you want in it. If you want to get this setup and switch anything from it, get something more powerful, you already know, contact them, let them know exactly what you want on the PC, and then the rest will be history. But make sure you guys go and check it out. Thanks to DJIelectronics.com for sponsoring this series. Now let's head into the Discord. This is the trading Discord. Now we have officially hit 40 members in the trading Discord, so we're growing very well. I'm extremely happy with everybody who's in here. I haven't been as, how do I put it, I wasn't very active this past week, especially in the back testing. I think I might have only got one trade in here that I ended up missing, which was the Tuesday trade. I have definitely been journaling on my actual journal, and obviously I'm doing this video now, which is my second journal, but I will definitely get back to it the next week, definitely for sure. The people have been active, not as active because I think they're not active because of me. The more that I talk, the more active they are, but I definitely gotta be more active in here just to, you know, get those conversations going. But like I said, when people are active, we do get active. When people are talking, a lot of people end up coming up in here and just start talking. So make sure you guys end up joining the Discord. Link is down in the description. Don't be scared, ask questions, do all that. People are actually messaging me. Like I said, if you have any questions that you want to ask me personally, hit me up in the DMs and I will try to answer to the best of my ability. Honestly, I'm so happy. You know, we're starting to grow very well. Just hit 40 members, and I started this a couple of months ago, really with just the YouTube marketing and on my Instagram. So if you joined from any of those, thank you, and we're gonna keep making it better and making it more popular. That's just the type of people that are in here. We're all in here with good vibes, no issues at all. But let's get into the actual charts and let's talk about what ended up happening this week. But if you can see, this is exactly what the week ended up looking like. It was an up week with manipulation happening towards the Tuesday and us having a low of week on Wednesday with the high of the week on Monday. I am still expecting for that buy side to end up being taken out because I'm still bullish, even though we are at all-time highs on ES. Either way, this is what the week ended up looking like. You can already see what my drawings look like, but let's get into the actual days of the week so that we can break down what ended up happening. Now, Monday I said I didn't trade, but there was a trade that ended up popping up that some people did end up taking, and I saw it after, so you just look at it very quickly. I think it ended up happening on the 1 minute on Monday. Like I said, I didn't take this trade at all. I wasn't even looking at the charts on Monday, but this is what it was here. As you can see, this is the 9:30 open, and we just kept rising through that to take out the target that I had from last week. We ended up smoking that target for sure, and I knew it was going to end up happening. I just ended up closing because I didn't want to have to live through, you know, all that waiting until Monday for it to open. Either way, my target ended up getting smashed from last week, and we end up coming up doing this. And as you can see here, I mean, I don't really pay attention too much to what ended up happening on this day, but there's probably an OTE. There's an OTE right there. As you can see, these up close candles ended up playing at resistance here. There's this inverse gap that ended up being a perfect entry. Inverse gap there probably would have had my entry like this, and then honestly safe stop above that, and then target the 930 lows, and then ended up hitting for a 3R. If you wanted to be a little bit less aggressive, you could have had your stop either at the 70 of the fib or the 79 of the fib and gotten an 8R. But this is the trade that ended up playing off on Monday. I didn't take this. I wasn't even looking at the charts on Monday. I wasn't expecting it to even do this on Monday. That's what ended up happening. I'm trying to see if maybe on the 5 minute it looked a little better or something like that, because in the 15 I don't really see an entry, but you can see it there. I could already see it. Fair value gap entry on the 5 minute with the inverse gap over here. Same with OT. I just had it on the shorter time frame, but you could have easily placed your stop at the top of that fair value gap and almost a 9R. Very good trading day that day, but it was a bank holiday. A lot of people did take this trade. Somebody in the Discord did take it. Like I said, I did not take that trade. When was that? This is the 15th or something like that. Yeah, or the 14th. Yeah, this is the trade that he ended up taking. Exactly. I said bold move to take that trade on a day, but he said it wasn't the best idea. Original plan was not to trade. Economic, I don't know what that is. I guess that's where he gets his news from. Didn't say anything about a bank holiday, so he said the end dog looked good. He got lucky. I wouldn't trade on that day, and I said I wasn't going to trade on that day, so I didn't follow my plan to that point. But let's move on to the next day, which is Tuesday. Tuesday was crazy, not only because we had this dump, but I ended up missing the dump, and it was my fault because Tuesday, what I was looking for and what I should have been paying attention to really was the fact that we were in OTE. That is one thing, but I wanted us to at least take out the high from Monday for us to go lower, but I saw it and I did see it. I did see this SMT. I was just waiting for us to at least go up and take out this high, and as you can see, the first 30 minutes of market open was just straight up chop up and down, and then this ended up happening to the point where we just dumped, and I ended up getting in. Oh, I didn't even get in on this day. I set a limit order somewhere like around here for a fair value gap, but it just dumped. This day it just continued continued dumping, and I ended up missing the sniper entry, and I sent it in the Discord. I'll put the screenshots too, because I believe I sent it to my boy. Yeah, I just said I was still bullish overall on NQ, but we might see a down week this week, and I was just saying that because I thought we were gonna have some type of big drop that day on Tuesday coming into the market open, and this big of a drop, one, I was not expecting. Overall, the low from Friday ended up being taken out, and the low from Thursday ended up being taken out. But this is what I was seeing. Like I said, I was being picky because I could have easily done this, taken this same trade that I have marked out there, and like I said, I have it in the back testing. You guys could pause it and read it if you want to read what I said. Overall, I was being very picky, and I don't know why I wanted to do that, because most of the time when I do take a turtle soup like that, I don't know why I was being so picky in terms of not taking the short this early and maybe having my stop above there. Maybe because I did want to see price go up there and take out that high. But like I said in many of my videos, you can't expect the market to do exactly what you want it to do. You have to be able to react off of what the market is doing. Perfectly good entry could have been made anywhere in this. Any short that I would have took and had my stop above that high would have A, got me into this move, and B, even if it did get up above the high, swooped it and then started to break down back inside, I could have just took a re-entry on it if it was gonna do that. But I then saw it on the 5 minute, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what I said it was. Yeah, yep, it was on the 5 minute. I remember now. 10:30 candle ends up opening, and this is what I saw after, and I should have just took it, man. I was so upset with myself for not taking it. But as you can see, first thing I did was, one, we had the SMT that should have already showed me, okay, we're going lower. Second thing I did was I grabbed my fib and put it on that 5 minute wick, which is the 9:55 wick right before the new candle opens, right? I went and got my CE, which is the midpoint of that wick, which was obviously respected, and I could have hopped in there as soon as I saw it be respected, or any point throughout this candle, and set my stop up there, because this was the wick of the 10 o'clock candle. That small wick, that was the wick of the 10 o'clock and the 4-hour candle. So literally efficient, dumped, straight up dumped. And there was even an opportunity here that I was waiting to see if we got back inside this 5 minute gap, and I set a limit order at the 5 minute gap, and I saw that it started to come back up during the same candle where I hesitated to enter. I should have saw that as, okay, we're coming back up to it. We're either gonna, there's only two options that could end up happening at this point. But what I think is, once it starts coming back up in the same candle right before the next candle to come back into the fair value gap, if it comes up like this, we're gonna expand lower. I think that if it was gonna come back up, it would have like stopped and closed like around here, and then came back up, refilled, and boomed. But that was a breakaway gap. No chance at all for me to get filled. And I usually don't enter with limit orders, so I should have just entered manually and then managed my risk appropriately. Maybe one contract and just let it run. But either way, I should have entered up there. I hesitated and I missed out on this big move. This is the biggest move of the week, and it happened on Tuesday. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is. It ends up happening, and there's nothing that anybody could do about it. But now we move on to Wednesday. Wednesday was a big drop, and I was bullish that day, but I played it wrong. I played it very wrong, right? So I wanted us to start moving back up towards the high of the week, right? But it was completely wrong, because on the daily, what did we end up doing? On the daily right here, we end up coming down and taking out sell side liquidity from this Tuesday candle and hitting this daily order block. So bullish after that. But I was coming into that day bullish. What I wasn't expecting was that big of a drop. So I took a bunch of entries. I think I took an entry here once we took out this low, and I took another entry here when we took out this low right here. But that doesn't make sense. I should have just sat back and watched it, or took a short, because I knew we were going to end up going down to open market. We end up coming down, taking out that liquidity, and then I hesitated on the long as well, and then I had another long opportunity right here. Now it's extremely clear, man. I got a hold of some information the past 2 days, and I don't know why it always happens at the end of the week, but I got a hold of some information. I got blessed. I prayed for this information, and thankfully my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ ended up providing, and that's what he always does. So I suggest you do the same. I got this information, and now it's extremely clear. We took out sell side liquidity from that Tuesday, so that was low of the week. Seeing it very clear later on, we end up having a turtle soup at 10 o'clock that started this push up towards this high, and then even higher on throughout the week. As you can see here, I'll show you guys exactly, but we had this fair value gap entry, which would have probably been the entry that I ended up taking, and I sent it in my other group chat. I'll take another screenshot of that and put it in here so that you guys can end up seeing it. I sent it in the group chat, had a long long in here that I hesitated on, obviously, but I shouldn't have hesitated on it because of what I know now. So we take out that sell side. Like I said, we hit that order block on the daily. So this is the low of the week. As you guys can see, we end up coming back up. All this is wick, and obviously we didn't close very much higher from the wick, but I'm bullish, so I think we're gonna end up taking out these highs for sure later on. 15-minute entry there. Would have had a wider stop than usual just because it's the 15-minute that you're taking it on, but I had an entry on the 1 minute that I didn't take. Let's get into it. But we had come down. We end up hitting this order block on the 15-minute, also with a fair value gap right there, and then we end up booming. I hesitated on it and didn't take it at all. I just decided to sit back and watch after I took the L's from these longs way too early. I had the correct bias. I was just in too early. I wasn't patient enough to figure it out, and then we had an amazing entry here that could have been targeting the highs from the open. Amazing entry, didn't take it. Then that leads us to the next day on Thursday. Beautiful on Thursday, and it was my fault for not figuring it out earlier. We ended up booming overnight, so I'm like, damn, how do I even look at this when we come into the market? Then I start seeing how the 1 hour starts closing. Look at how the 1 hour starts closing. We end up hitting this order block over here while also being inside a 4-hour gap. We end up closing like that. I said, we're going low, we're going lower, and I don't know how low we were gonna end up going, but I was like, we're going lower. And that is why I have my fib, this fib right here, because I ended up targeting the 50% of the fib. I hopped in this short right here on the 1 minute. I sent it in the group chat, in the Discord, not the group chat, but let me hide this one real quick so I can show you guys. This is the short that I ended up taking. I ended up entering a little bit later than usual, but I got in, and my stop was right here at this breakaway gap. So that was the entry, and then I ended up moving it down. After I moved it down, this was the type of entry that I got. I only sent it in with one contract just because I wasn't too confident on it, but this is after some information that I obtained, and I was like, let me try it out. Tried it out, boom. Ends up clean ass price action, goes to it right away, hits the target, and then starts to come back up. I didn't take a long here, which was too early. There was a long opportunity, but I was in too early, and then that is why now I can hide this one, man. And this gets me angry, but what I ended up doing was this, right? I take that long, that initial long. I was up like 100 and something, and I have a picture of it, I think, from my other group chat. But I take a long, I'm up a couple $100 there. Then ends up coming back down and stops me out. But I should have known that the first low, if I'm bullish, the first low that Chris created is usually gonna just end up being liquidity to propel this move up. End up getting taken out there. Then I re-enter one more time here. I entered there, and I set my stop below this low, right? It does all this, you know, I'm in profit, then it comes back down, then it goes up, and this is what I mean by straight up chop, and it's been doing that all week. End up doing all this, comes down and starts to move up, and then this ends up happening. And this is where psychology and all that comes into play. And I said this earlier in this video, my skill is way past my psychological level in trading. My skill is profound. I'm a very good trader, but the psychology has to have work. And if I would have just been emotionless and left my trade just run, I could have at least got out up here with some profit. And after all this chop and all that stuff, all of this, I don't know if I would have ended up holding all the way through and then gotten actually stopped out over here, but for sure I would have tried to take some profit up here, especially after seeing how we're moving and closing on the higher time frames, especially the 1 hour. So you could see then we start closing like this, and yeah, at that point you already know what is gonna end up happening once you start closing on the higher time frames like that. But going back to what I ended up doing was, and it happened again, this was the story of this week. It ended up happening again on Friday, but it's just being emotionless and just literally setting and forgetting. I had my stop below this low at 1010, right? And then once we start coming down and getting close to it, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get stopped out. Let me close it out before I get stopped out, just to save myself some dollars. And then this ends up happening as soon as I close, and it happened twice. This happened twice this week. Like I said, the story of this week, as soon as I close, once we come down, there's an SMT on ES, and then we end up booming, and I could have easily closed out somewhere up here without losing this trade. I let the emotions come in and just basically switch up, not trust my analysis. And there's a reason why this trade didn't work out, and I figured it out, like I said, after. And that's why you have to just keep going as a trader, because it's kind of like think about it as an onion. You just keep peeling the layers until you get to the core. I see these small losses as me peeling the layers because I am learning from them, and if you're not learning from them, that's on you. But either way, all I had to do was just let it run, It never took me out. It got close to taking me out, but never did. And then as you can see, end up having a breaker later on that I didn't re-enter from. And when I noticed this, I said it's gonna go up, but I had already lost over here, so I was like, I don't want to get back into it. But as you can see, we had a breaker, 1 minute breaker. That candle right there is the 1 minute bullish breaker. We end up having a gap. I don't remember if it's on the 5 minute or the 15. There is a 5 minute gap there, so you guys can see there's a 5 minute gap with the 1 minute breaker just to send price higher. I could have re-entered there, but I just decided not to. Just trusting my idea, man, and being emotionless. Just whatever happens, accept your risk, let the trade run. And I think what I said this as a joke in one of my group chats, but I mean it wholeheartedly. I think it's gonna get to the point where I need to set my stop and set my take profit, and then just let the trade run. Whatever ends up happening. Close up all of my apps, step away from my computer and go do something else, and then come back once the trade is over. Either I hit TP or I get stopped out. Maybe set some limit orders along the way just to make sure I secure profits, and then just letting it run all the way to this target. But either way, that is what ended up happening on Thursday. And then the same thing ends up happening on Friday. And I was so angry on myself. I sent it in the Discord too, because I said today I was tight up myself because I had a great entry and good risk on this trade. My only trade of the day. So that's what I mean by good risk. It's not like I got into a trade before that and lost or something like that. No, this was my only trade of the day. I was risking about $100 to make 500. After telling myself I was gonna let my trade run to TP or stop loss, I moved my stop to break even, got stopped out, and the rest is evident. I have a lot of self work to fix this upcoming week, but I'm gonna do it because it has to be done, right? So the same old nonsense ended up happening. I had a very good entry. I ended up being bullish on this day, but as you can see, straight up chop. We're creating liquidity for a big move. As you can see, I'm still bullish, but my stop would have been safe, and I got stopped out because I moved my stop to break even. As you can see, SMT there, I end up having a very good entry, risking about $100 with a 5R, about to make $550, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I would have to have sat through all this chop, and I did. In the beginning, perfectly good mentality. I'm like, I know what they're doing. They're just going up and down, just trying to get people to freak out, get out of the trade, just chop. But I saw it as a mental exercise to try to work through sitting in these trades and trusting your mental ideas. But it gets to the point after you're in a trade for about 4 hours and it's just chop that you kind of lose it in a way. And I could have got out up here, and I probably would have, because we ended up clearing this buy side liquidity above there, and I saw how we were chopping. I said, it's Friday, we're probably just gonna end up chopping for the rest of the day. So I would have got out up there, $300 profit for sure, but I ended up getting stopped out at break even because I moved my stop to break even, and I was so angry at myself, man. Nobody else can be blamed for it. It was me. Let my psychology get the best of me. But man, it's difficult. It's easy to say, I'm not gonna touch the charts, but once you see the movements and you're in profit, $300 at one point, then it goes back down, you're down about 90, then it goes back up, then it goes back down, and it just keeps on doing that the whole time. It's it is frustrating and extremely frustrating. And as you can see on the higher time frame, this is what it looked like on the higher time frame. So it's like, man, what is it really gonna do? But the stories are in the bodies. Some bodies ended up closing. My stop was respected. Look how the bodies respected my stop. I had an amazing entry. I had nothing to worry about. I just should have let it run. And yeah, that was the story of the week. Next week is going to be completely different just because of the information that I got, and I haven't even gotten through all the information. I'm still studying the information. I need to show you guys my notebook, because you need your journal obviously, but I also have many different notebooks. This is it right here. This is from the information that I learned recently. I don't even know if you guys can see it, but when I tell you that there has been a lot of information that I have been learning in the past 2 days that has just been extremely, and when I say extremely, I mean extremely beneficial, man. There's a lot, and just know that the game is changing, and all I need is time. Because like I said, my skill is there. I have the trading skill. I don't want to say down packed, but I have a very good trading skill. Now what I need to do is let my psychology catch up, and once that does and everything is running and the gears are running at the same pace, man, it's gonna be scary. But that is everything that I have to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Next week I'm gonna be on vacation, so the next video might be a little different from what I usually do, but my clips are gonna keep going and firing because I've been saving my clips for this trip. But if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment. Please let me know how your trading week went. Use my discount code LVFLIP at Techtronix.com for 10% off. Join my Discord. The link is down in the description, and I will catch you in the next video. I hope you have a safe week. I hope you have a good week, and I will catch you in the next one. And as always, peace out.